Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Talks with V. I'm very excited to be back for the second episode of Talks with V's Transforming with V. As you all may know by now, this season is all about transformation. And I'm still, super excited about the transformation. It is happening in people's lives. And I'm so excited that it feels like everyone is well, not everyone, but a lot of people are on board and making these changes, these personal and permanent changes this season. And before we get into it and introduce our special guest, a few housekeeping little rules. Let's get into this. If you guys have not already subscribed to our channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to the V Bailey Network. So V Bailey Network, and then our friends at the HBCU Lounge Network. You want to go ahead and subscribe and share. Click share before we get too deep in it, but you can always watch the replays as well, just in case you missed anything. So share with someone who you feel can benefit from this, or just someone who just loves to be educated on the topic. We're talking about marriage today with our marriage coach and marriage and empowerment coach, Nyenye. So Miss Nyenye, welcome to the show. I want to just go ahead and introduce yourself. If you could introduce yourself, tell the people who you are and how you got into what this, I believe, is your calling.
Well, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. This is an amazing opportunity. And so my name is Nyenye Jordan, and I actually became a coach out of necessity, right? And so I've been married, happily married. This year will be 26 years. I know, I don't look right? I don't look it right. But no, I have been married for 26 years, and we have been through. And so as we were getting healed, as we were getting whole, people start asking questions. People start saying, well, how y'all stay married so long? And, what do you do to keep this going in your marriage? And how do you keep the fire burning in your marriage? And at first I would just be like, well, you got to pray, you got to do this, you got to do that. Right. And it turned into a whole ministry where we were sitting down with couples and just having open floor sessions, just rap sessions, where we were talking about marriage, and this is what you need to do, and this is how you need to communicate and conversate with each other, and where's your mind at? What do you really think about marriage? And so that's how it all began. It just was a necessity. People started coming to us asking for advice, and we said, hey, we here for it. We are here for it.
No, I love that. It's just so special when things just kind of fall into place, because a lot of the times those our purpose, the things that, what ends up being our purpose, sometimes we're not even thinking about it. And some of us are running away from it. We're like, no, I'm not ready, Lord, And so it's so interesting how things just come together and fall into place for what it is that we're purposed, to do. So I think that that's really beautiful. I had that vision for me when I was a girl, is to be able to do that and help people in that area. It had to come from God, because I was just like, where does this come from? I'm a child. I'm young. I don't know nothing about this thing, I haven't had any relationships at that time. So, but I do think it's a beautiful thing, and to see it, in real life, something that, I think is much needed, today. I mean, a lot of people need that support and they don't have it, so it's another thing too, to have that authentic, just down to earth support. And you definitely give down to earth vibes.
I mean, well, you just got to tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? Yes. You got to be open. You got to be honest. And I'm not going to lie to you. I was scared at first. because when you transparent with people, you kind of put your dirty laundry out there for people to pick apart. And so at first it was very, very scary because you don't want to reveal everything. You don't want everybody to know everything you've been through. But when you really do it, the way God tells you to do it, not only does he keep you, not only does he, dispatch his angels around about you, he tells you what to say, how to say, how much to give out, and all those sort of things. So he guards you when you do it his way.
Guys, yes, yes, yes. I love that. Well, so I have a question for you about when people or potential clients come you know, to you just seeking, this transformation in their marriage or personal life. How can they be set up for success? What's the starting point?
Mindset. They have to
Mm,
have an open mindset. You cannot
yeah.
go into a thing. It's just like with anything. You don't go into college or start your classes thinking, you know what, I'm gonna suck at this. I'm just, because if you have that mindset, what you even registering for? Like,
You
save
preparing to
your money,
fail.
do something else, right?
Yeah.
And so I tell them, you have to come in with a mindset that you want this to work. And even for the marriages that don't end up working, because it definitely takes two people to have that mindset in order for it to all come together. You have to know
Right.
that this is going to make me better. You got to have the mindset that no matter what the end result is, this is going to make me better. And that's where the empowerment piece comes. You have to know
Mm,
who you are. So many people are in broken relationships and marriages because they really don't understand who God designed them to be. They don't understand their worth,
right.
and they get
Right.
so much toxicity, even from family, from friends. We're raised up with a lot of toxic mindset, you
Oh
know,
yeah. Yeah.
especially our community. We don't want to go
Yeah.
to therapy. We don't want to talk to nobody. It's a secret. Everything a secret,
Hmm.
and that's just
Yeah.
not the way God designed us to be. We are community. He even says,
Yes.
as far as the church is, we are many members, but one body. One
Right.
body.
One brain.
So you have
Hmm.
to understand that. You have to understand that we are a village. We got to get through this together. You know what I'm saying? And so you must have an open
Absolutely.
mindset to receive.
No, absolutely. I totally agree. That's my church says that. And it's so important because those people, especially if you have healthy people around you, they're able to keep you accountable. And even with your partner, if you're struggling to know who it is that you are, your partner may be the best person for you. They may be trying to bless you through their patience or working with you or the things that they're making you aware of. But because you don't understand yourself, you don't know yourself, you're thinking that they're doing something that they're not, maybe even attacking you when really they're trying to help, because you are one, once you get married. And even sometimes, you're blessed to have those type of people when you're single, and you have to like kind of put those guards down and just be willing to do the work. So, but I agree with you with the mindset. It starts there, because if your mind says, no, I can't do this, I'm not enough, this is what's wrong with me, I'm not lovable, or you just don't have the discipline, which is attached to mindset,
Yes,
you're
yes,
setting yourself up for failure. So I
exactly,
absolutely agree with you on that for sure.
exactly, exactly.
And so, what are some of the tools that you provide to married clients that are transferable in the personal development?
Well, what we do when I sit down with clients, we write the vision and we make it
Okay.
plain. We
Mm,
write the vision. Um, all of the things that I do are really based on biblical principles, and some of them are
okay.
just plain common sense. And so, the first thing that we have to do is you have to have a strategy. And I don't think people realize that you have to have a strategy in relationships. You got to have a vision
Mm,
for the relationship. Why are we here? Why are we here? Are we here
mm,
just for hookups? Are we here just to go out to dinner every now and then? Are
mhm,
we
mhm.
here creating legacy? Are we here creating something that's
Purpose.
gonna have a positive impact on our life? on our children's life, in our community. What are we creating here? And so the very first thing we have to do is we got to write down the vision. We got to understand why we're here, what we're doing, and how we are going to get to where the end point. Where do we want to go? And how are we going to get there? And so we do that for businesses. We do that in our personal life. But have you ever sat down and done that, within your marriage? Sit down, write the vision, and really make it plain. And that way it's clear. I always advocate for journaling and, people write, because you need to see it. It's nothing like seeing something black and white.
Right. And it registers, and it makes it real. I mean, it's just like with the vision board, and the reason why I think that the vision board, and, it's the same as what they're saying in the Bible. What, the word is saying, write the vision, make it plain. The vision boards, when you write your vision board and then you put your pictures up, and it's like, you write it down and you have the pictures so that you get to like use your imagination and sit with that and kind of meditate and marinate on, this vision that you have, and all of that energy, that positive energy, that, is coming about because you're so excited about this thing that you desire. It moves things. It helps it to manifest. And absolutely. So, I agree with you that is transferable in any situation, in your marriage and in your, your goals. And you're so right. A lot of times people are more excited to do that when it comes to business and making money. But the thing is that what we have to really know for real, like, we have to realize that this is something so important. You're coming together with another human being, and most of the time creating little human beings.
Yes.
Absolutely. And you're responsible for them. Exactly. And so it's something you have to take absolutely seriously, because there's nothing more serious than life, and death.
Nothing.
You want to make sure that you're promoting and nurturing a good life for these little human beings, as well as yourself. You as a couple, you guys deserve that in your marriage, right? So,
right.
I love that. Before we go into the next part, I wanted to kind of go back because, I said marriage and empowerment coach, but for some people, they think everything is cliche. They don't really understand, what people do when they say that they're, a life coach or empowerment coach. So can you break it down for the people who don't know, what does it mean to be an empowerment coach? What is it that you do as an empowerment coach?
Well, what I do is I help women find their superpower. I help them find their purpose. What are you here for? Sometimes us as women, we really belittle ourselves. We think small. I'm a wife, and let me tell you something. I'm a wife, and I love being a wife. I'm a mother. Yes, I love being a mother. I got 4 children. I absolutely love them. But guess what? I'm more than that. Yeah, I'm a boss. I'm a child of God. I'm an innovator. I'm a strategist. Let me tell you something. And I'm a nurse. I am so many things wrapped into one. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so you have to know that you are more than just the titles that people put on you. You have a purpose. God has a plan for your life. You make an impact every day. Every day. I'm telling you, most women can run corporations. Especially if you run in a household.
Oh my goodness.
We make it happen. I tell people all the time, and I love my husband and I reverence him, as the head of our household. He the head, but baby, I'm the neck around here.
Right.
I'm the neck. Sometimes I'm the eyes, and sometimes I'm the ears. And so, all of those things. All of those things. And so I help women see their superpower. What is it about you that makes you unique? You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And so let's see what that fierceness is. Let's see what that wonderful is. And it really builds their self-esteem and their confidence. For some people, having on that right wig, that's it. Having on that right makeup. Don't let people people belittle that. People will say,
Right. Yes.
who she think she is? That ain't even her hair. Baby, you bought that hair. That's your hair, honey. Wear it. If that make you
Yeah.
feel good, if that allows you
Right.
to stretch your stuff, if that lets, honey, do it.
Right.
Do
I
it
want to switch it
without
up.
apology. That's it. Come
That's
on,
right.
without apology. You don't
Right.
have to apologize for the greatness. That's
Yes,
it.
absolutely. Absolutely. Because you want to be able to embrace your full self, but that goes back to knowing who it is that you are, right? Some
Exactly.
people do things and they do it for other people, and some people they do it for themselves. And either way, you can't judge anyone for finding to come into their self, and understanding their self, but you have to embrace who you are. And I like what you said, because you said that you help with the empowerment piece, that you help women, right?
Uh-huh.
And figuring out, like, empowering them and helping them figure themselves out, and realize their strength, right?
Yes.
And I think that that's so important, because husband and wife, they work together. But, as a woman, for me, like, I love, men too, and I try to empower them. But I do understand that the bulk of my empowerment is going to go towards women, because I'm a woman, right? And there's things in areas that I don't understand about men. So that's for me to learn, from a
Right.
man who knows himself and is able to really kind of help me understand. He can't help me understand all men, but he can kind of help me understand. And that's what we do, is we help each other understand the
Exactly.
opposite sex. But as for women and for men who may have low self-esteem or don't understand their worth, because a
Exactly.
lot of times, there's a lot of men who don't know their worth. They thinking they're just paycheck and a penis,
Britches
and
and bacon. Britches and
yeah,
bacon.
exactly. And so they're set, to have their mind set on these things that society tells them this is what
This
you're
is you.
responsible for. And then for the women, these things right here, you're responsible for cleaning and, taking care of the kids and cooking, all these things. But then you have a mind, right? You have a purpose.
Exactly.
You have something that you may be a woman who's going to change the world, right?
Come on. Come on.
You may be a
Yes.
scientist, you might, come up with the next,
Yes.
cure for cancer, right? And
Yes.
so I say the next, that kind of slid out, but at the same time, there has been a cure, okay? And
Yes. Come on now.
but I'm saying this, there's power in you, and we all have something special and powerful about us, and meaningful, that is who we are. And discovering that is so important. So I love the fact that you and your husband work together with the couples, but you also take that time and pour into women and help them, realize
Yes.
who it is that they are, because they're going to have to do that work, but you help them. And a lot of times that is so needed, as you said. So thank you for that. That is, it's appreciated.
Yes.
You're welcome. So moving to my next question, how do you transform a marriage that's on the rocks? They're just coming to you and they're just like, they got this little slither of hope that, all right, I'm gonna do this last thing so I can
Right.
say I gave everything,
Right.
but
Exactly.
I'm kind of ready to check out. I kind of got a plan of what I'm gonna do when we part ways. So,
Exactly.
but deep down, they do still want to see if they can
Exactly.
salvage this marriage. So how is it that you help them transform when it's on the rocks?
Well, the first thing we do is prayer.
Mm,
There is power in prayer, and the Word of God tells us that prayer changes things. So the first thing that me and my husband will do is we'll kind of encircle them, and we will just pray over them. We will just pray over them, and then we go to forgiveness. Because a
mm,
lot of times when you have a marriage that's on that last little thread, there are so many things that have been done, that they have done against each other, that they have said against each other. And so we
right.
got to open the floor for some forgiveness. We we
Mm,
we got to put it all out there, all the dirty stuff. We got to put it all out there on the table, and we
mm,
got to say, "Look, I know you did X, Y, Z. I know I did X, Y, Z.
mhm,
Let's forgive each other. If we're gonna go any further, if this is gonna work, if we got any iota of hope, we got to start forgiving each other. We got to start
Yeah.
forgiving. We got to understand the wins and whys. Why did you do that? What? Let's start having a conversation. Let's start effectively communicating with one another. And so we open up all those doors with the forgiveness, with the confession, and then we start rebuilding. Okay, so we got all the dirty laundry out there. It's all out there. We went over this. We forgiven. Because it's a process. All of this doesn't happen in one session. And so now, how are we gonna rebuild? How what is our new? Because we don't want to go back. So many people think, well, we're gonna make it like it used to be. No, baby. No, it's not gonna be like it used to be. Because remember, that didn't work. That got you here. So what we're doing is we're making something totally new, baby. We're making something totally new. And we're writing out the strategy, and we're gonna stick with the plan. And when it's some things that's going wrong, we're gonna have a conversation, and we're gonna do this different. We're gonna look at this different, and we're making new territory here. We new and improved.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I love that. I actually am working on a book, right now, and I there's just different things that I'm into. But my mom, she's into her tea, and she sells tea. She has a tea business now, and I've always been into like these really beautiful teacups, right? Well, I seen this one. I think it's Japanese or Korean, and they have like this teacups and different types of fixtures where it's broken but put back together with in the cracks. They have gold in the cracks, right?
Yeah.
And so there's like a beautiful meaning to that, but like seeing that makes me think about how in situations something might be broken or it's breaking, and we're so scared to just move because we're trying to hold on to all these pieces, trying to hold on to it, and not realizing that sometimes you got to let those pieces fall and then see what is left once you salvage it. And a lot of times that thing that is left that you bring together and rebuild is more beautiful than what you had.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so I was thinking about that when you're just talking about the rebuilding. And it's not so bad. A lot of times people avoid the work because they don't think that they can make something beautiful. They don't think that there's anything left when really, it's going to get better. That's what these trials,
many new possibilities.
Yeah. It's us growing. Our capacities being stretched, so.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I love it.
Yes. So, briefly, how long, I don't think I mentioned this or asked, how long have you and your husband been married?
This year will be 26 years.
Oh, wow. That's so good.
26 years.
26 years. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So I wanted to congratulations. That's awesome. I mean, it's, as we know, you hear from everybody, when you talk to couples who are married, they're like, now don't rush because and you're like, okay, it's kind of scary sometimes when they say it like that. But I understand, like it's not, a walk in the park, and they say it ain't for the weak.
Right. But you know what? And I always warn people, because I had family members like that when we were growing up, and they would be like, girl, wait a minute, I don't rush in. Y'all so young, but they were still with their husband. Right. I'm like, well, how you telling somebody don't get married? You've been married now for 35 years.
All right. They said we're here now.
Right. What sense do that make? And so,
right. Be careful, right? They have to be careful. And honestly, I don't think that they're really mindful of it, because when they talk like that, it's not that we correct them and say, hey, that could be very discouraging for me, who desires to be married, and I don't have the same, I'm not you, and my partner is not your partner. So we don't know. It could be, an amazing thing, and we might just be blessed, up front. But, that kind of talk, it kind of makes you feel discouraged, because you're someone who I value value your thoughts, so
That's why it's
yeah.
so important that you get healed first. I couldn't come
Mhm.
out as a coach. I only really came out as a coach like 3 years ago because I
Uh,
had to get healed first. When you
right.
are not healed, you'll come out
Yes.
of a bitter place and you won't
Yeah.
even really help people. And
Right.
so
Right.
before I could actually help somebody and help make their situation whole, I had to be healed. And so a lot of people
Yes.
talk out of that broken place.
Yeah, and I think being at a good stable place, of your healing, like you're healing because we're always, growing. And also
Oh
too,
yeah.
I think that the work, I think just to add, the work that we do, um, heals us too. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
even
absolutely.
interacting with you, like even
Absolutely.
when we talked before, the show, just getting to know each other a little bit, it was
Yeah.
just like, wow, like the things that you're doing, it's inspired me. Like it makes me reflect on my dreams. And it's just like, oh wow, I feel empowered talking to you. I feel like, these things are nurturing, that gift. And
Absolutely.
that's healing, in areas that sometimes you don't know that you need to be
Need
healed in.
healing.
So yeah, but absolutely, yeah, you can't come out here broken and hurt and manipulate. And there's some people out there.
Yeah.
We have some scammers on the internet that be out here and they telling you some things and they not living it. But at the same time, God can still use that person
Oh,
and
absolutely.
you get something from it, but it's just not the best. It's not the
Right.
best that
Right.
that you
Right.
out
They
there like
don't get nothing from it. It hurts them more, really.
yeah, it
It
does.
hurts them in the long run.
Yeah, it does. Because once you receive that healing, you feel so like, dang, I was deceiving some of these people. You know what I mean? And so
Right.
it's like,
Right.
get it together, just repent, and you'll be all right.
That's it. That's it.
So when you're trying to make a permanent change, it can be extremely difficult. And
Yes.
everyone needs a little bit of help. So, what do you recommend clients to do to support a healthy transition? Like, what are some of your recommendations
What?
for clients to support them on this journey? Because you know how it is when you say,
Mm.
"Oh, I'm gonna lose 60 pounds," or "I'm gonna stop fussing," or "I'm gonna have some boundaries." Soon as you say it and put it out there, it seems like everything comes out of the woodwork to attack what you're doing. So,
Enemy
what?
show up, honey.
Yes. So, what are some of those tools? What are some recommendations to prepare the person when they say, "Hey, I got a secret. I'm
Well,
trying to get."
you definitely have to keep your prayer life going. You have, and if you don't have one, start one. You
Get
have
one.
to get the prayer life together. But you also have to celebrate the small wins. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You have to celebrate the progress. Okay, so maybe you still got some issues out there. Maybe everything hadn't been resolved, or maybe even you guys came to the consensus that you know what,
Mm.
this was never meant to be.
Ah.
This, but that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. You can still be healthy for yourself. He can be healthy for himself. You guys can
Right.
have a friendship and you can keep on moving. Celebrate the
Right.
fact that you guys came to this consensus and that now you understand what was broken. And now the next relationship, you can be
Mhm.
healthy, you can be whole, you can be on a firm foundation, right? And
Right.
so we have to celebrate the little wins. It's life is not perfect. We're flawed people. We're
Right.
flawed people. And so we have to understand that sometimes, we just got to move on. We got to move on.
Right.
And that's okay.
That's
It's okay.
okay.
It's
And then, but,
okay.
but knowing, stay there on that one with that being okay. So it's really too about like knowing the difference, right? Those things that you
Yes,
need to keep putting a little bit more work in, and then the ones that it is like know when to hold them, know when to fold them, as they
that's
say.
it. My
And
mother say you got to know when to hold them, you got to know when to fold them, and you got to know when to walk away.
mm,
And so
yeah,
I don't tell everybody that, hey, I'm going to fix your marriage and y'all go, no,
right,
everybody is not going to stay married. Because
right.
guess what? Some of those marriages, God didn't even ordain no way.
Didn't put it together in the
He
first place.
didn't
That's what
put
I
it
said.
together no way.
Yeah, they pull that scripture out. God brings together, brought together, let no man put us under, right? But did he bring it together? Did he
Right.
bring did he was that him or you? You know,
Right.
was it him or you?
Sometimes it was you.
A lot of
Sometimes
times
y'all
it was you.
sometimes y'all were just friends. Y'all were just
Yeah.
friends. And then
Hmm.
things got a little hairy. Y'all ended
Yeah.
up, maybe in the bedroom. And you thought,
Hmm.
oh, this the guy because he really
Keep
laying it
going.
down. God said, no, that was your
No
friend.
plan.
Yeah, that was your friend. And so you gotta know. And the only way you can know that is if you have a relationship with God and you're listening. You are
Mhm.
listening and you're trusting God and you're knowing that He is leading you, He is guiding you. You're not doing this on your own. We mess up when we try to do it on our own.
Yeah, absolutely. And you make such a good point about that prayer life and then staying in your word. Recently, I was saying that I wanted to. So for me, my transformation, the goals right now that I'm focusing on are the fitness, like the health journey, but healthy physically and spiritually. So those are my two things that I'm like, let's let's get
All
into
right.
it.
Come
And
on now.
that's what I've been working on. And so I was talking to my cousin because my pastor had mentioned some things about making different things your idol and putting all these different things
Okay.
before God. And the truth is no one wants to admit that they do that. They don't want to admit it. So they kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, Pastor, I know what you're talking about. And they don't really like let it sink in. And so because I was saying like, well, just been talking to God, like heavy for the last, few years, just really just having conversations. And I was just like,
Mhm.
well, God, I've been saying how I want to make my relationship better with you. Last year, that's how I started off. And then mid-year, I don't know what was going on. I was just like, it was like I was talking about, but I was just like slacking in so many areas. I was like, oh, you are so raggedy right now. Like, what's going on? And
Right.
so I had got to a point and I said, man, I feel like everything is at a standstill. So I got to do something different. And I was just like, and every time things are moving and progressing, it is because I am spending time with God and I'm meditating and I'm like taking
Yes.
some time
Absolutely.
to be by myself and really just let some things sink in. And
Mm-hmm.
so I tell my cousin that anytime I want to do something, I'm like, I'll tell her. And she always like comes up with something like a few days later, like, hey, you could try this. And so I told her that I wanted to, I was spending time with God, but to my pastor's point about us putting God on the back burner, I was just like, well, it's because the things that we put on the front, that we spend more time with is the things that we think it's been romanticized. It's sexy, right?
Absolutely.
I was like, so
Yes.
we gotta make this relationship with God sexy, or like desirable in some kind of way.
Yes.
And that's just me keeping it real. People can be so holy and think that that's just whatever, I'm whatever, but I'm just keeping it real. Like something's got to give to make you really like go after that thing. And so I said, God, I want to be like really excited, about my
Yes.
time tribe. And so
Exactly.
my cousin had recommended that she's seen something on Facebook and someone was doing a scripture challenge and they were
Okay.
doing it with their friends. And so she was just like, well, I'm going to do it with my sister and, a couple of my friends. And you said that you want to get closer and get,
Mm-hmm.
just different things to help you. And so
Right.
you can do it too. And so I was kind of like, eh, I don't know, and then I was just like, well, you know what? No, I'm gonna do it because I said, you're right. I did say that. So,
That's right.
so I said, I'm gonna do it because if I am reading my Bible just every single day, for 28 days, whatever these things they recommend, something gotta
Right.
give. Something's gonna change.
That's
And
it.
so I did. And at first I was kind of like, this don't even apply, to me. I don't see it. And I was like, I had to check myself. I was like, you doing too much, like
Right.
just embrace the process,
That's
And
it.
so I started to just say, okay, I'm gonna see what I can get from her. I'm just gonna if I don't feel like it resonates or it's not for me, I'm still gonna just think of what if it was, like how could this
Right.
apply?
How can it
Other ways,
utilize?
how, yeah, exactly. And because it's a
Yeah,
tool that you can have in your back pocket. So I did
exactly.
that. And then I started to get more open with it. And then it started to be kind of cool. And some of the scriptures, I was like, oh, that's a little juicy, that story right there. Like this kind of good. I was like, I've heard of this story before. I've read this, but
Right.
it ain't the same. Now that I'm grown, I feel like I'm getting different things from it. And so
Exactly.
I was just really committed. And I like my cousin said, she's like, you actually, you were the all-star of the group, because some of us was checking into, some of us weren't. And it made a difference. It made a world of difference, because I seen how I was looking at life differently. I seen the beauty in more things. I wasn't, irritable with certain things, and I have more grace as well, for people who weren't where I wanted them to be. You know what I mean? And so, and just, I just was getting just blessed. I would pray and I would just talk to God, and I found myself just like a person in a new relationship, all excited, talking to someone. I was in the bed. I was in the bed and I was just talking to God and excited. And then I prayed, and I was praying for the couples at my church that were on the marriage retreat to repair their marriage. And I started to cry because I couldn't believe that I was just like so excited and just passionate about it. I was like, how did this transformation just happen that quick, in less than the 28 days? And so I was very appreciative about it. And I know that was long, but I just had to share that, because it makes such a difference. The relationship, with God, and the prayer. You need them to do those things that seem impossible, because with God, all things are possible.
All things are possible. Absolutely. That's good. That's really good. If more people would think of it like that, and that's what I try to tell people. God wants relationship with us.
Yeah.
He wants relationship. Honey, we will get Johnny will call us at 8 o'clock, tell my baby, you want to go to the movies? You want to go? Honey, we will get our hair done. We'll get everything together, put on the makeup, get the dress, all of those things. And we excited because Johnny called us at 8 o'clock. And here Jesus is calling us like, hey, could you open the door? I'm knocking. Can you let me in? And we just ignoring him. He like, I just want a relationship. I just want to whine you and dang you. I just want to love on you a little bit. I just want to hug you. I want to embrace you. And we just like, is that Johnny? We looking for Johnny. We done made Johnny an idol,
Exactly. And treating God like a side chick, or the one that you know that's just gonna be there, or the side piece man, the one that you just know is gonna be there. If I call you 2 months from now, you're gonna be so excited that I'm calling you. So I'll be back, and that's not cool.
That's okay, God. I get back when Johnny break up with me, then I'll be back to the secret closet. I'll be praying again. Yeah. Wait till Johnny break up with me.
Man,
we do it. We do it.
Yes.
Yeah, we do it. We're guilty.
It's so true. And no judgment. It's just real. You got to have these real conversations, because at some point things do have to change, and it don't have to change if you're not there. And you're not at that point, or you just say, you know what, I accept this is who I am. This is where I'm at. Okay. Because that, honestly, being honest with yourself is going to get you to those transformations actually quicker, because when you're in denial, you don't even know that there's a problem, or you don't even know if there's something that's holding you back and getting in the way of becoming, so yeah, definitely. Because listen, I tell people all the time on this show, the stuff like that, I'd be like, ooh, okay, that wasn't cool, I messed up. We're gonna try it again, because my heart wants to do good, but I am still human. And so, and I don't want people to feel alone, like I'm human, I'm doing stuff, and you're human, you're gonna do different things. And so it's all right. We can dust yourself off and try again. So
come on now. We've been married 26 years. It is still not perfect.
Yeah.
Neither one of us are perfect. The relationship is not perfect, but we love each other. We're evolving with each other. We're embracing each other. And we're in love. Period.
Yes.
it.
What do you think? Well, what is the want to ask? What are some of the things that you lean on? I know you said, prayer, but in some of those cases, what are those things that kind of keep you grounded, in marriage? Because you've been married 27 years, right?
26, 26.
26 years. Okay. You just said that. 26 years. And so what's something that you feel like keeps you grounded? Because sometimes
Um,
it's a little tool someone can
watching
use.
watching our children
Oh,
evolve, that kind of keeps us in reality.
yeah.
Um, and just sometimes we just take a look back from where we came from. Like,
Um,
can you believe we used to do so and so? Can you believe, or whatever? And we got rid of all the cliches and all the, we don't
mhm,
care about what other people say about our relationship. It's me,
mhm,
him, and God, and that's it. If take it or leave it. People talk about me all the time because they say, "Oh, you just always in love with your husband. You always say," and he is.
and am.
And, and what?
Purr.
So what? You know,
My man, my man, my man.
I'm
That's
okay with that. That's right. You need to get okay with that because this is
right.
how we live, and we like that at home. It's
Yeah.
not a facade. We are authentic with each
Yeah.
other, and
Yeah.
it's like that. Like the kids say, period,
Period.
period. That's how it
Period,
is.
boo.
Exactly. Look,
No,
here's
I
who I
love
made a
that so
commitment to.
much. Yeah, and
I
you,
made a commitment to him. We
yeah,
have a
you
covenant agreement, and
mm,
so we take care of that agreement. We,
right.
hey, it is what it
Mhm.
is. Either you love it or you don't. Get
Right.
you one. That's what I
Right.
tell people. Get you one.
Get you on. Okay. But you guys are working at it, so you
Yeah.
deserve to, appreciate it. And if this is your thing, you find someone who is lovey-dovey. A lot of people wish they had a partner that was lovey-dovey on them.
Yeah.
And some people adapt because they didn't get that, and they just
Exactly.
work with that, with that partner. So I think it's a blessing. I love it.
Me too.
So
Me
well,
too.
before we tell the people how we can find you, tell the audience, I would love for you to tell us about your book that you is it out
It-
for purchase yet?
It's live on Amazon.
Okay, I
It's
say that. I was like,
live
I
on
think that I
Amazon.
was like, okay, is it
It
ready? Is
is.
it ready to go?
It's
Okay, cool.
ready.
Okay,
Ready.
good.
Ready.
Good, good, good.
God is so good. Y'all will not believe this, but I have been going back and forth with this book for probably about 10 years.
Mm,
Um, and it's a shame. It is what it is.
mm,
But it's about marriage. It's called Rooted and Grounded, a guide to marital wholeness.
mm-hmm.
Um, and part of what took me so long was I didn't want my business in the streets.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we have guilt and shame about the things that we have been through, and then people make
Mm-hmm.
you feel guilty for
Mm-hmm.
loving somebody, even though they have done things against the marriage. And
Mm-hmm.
so I really felt ashamed for a long time. Like, oh, when people found out I did this, when people found out he did that, oh my God. But
Yeah,
God said, you know what? We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And the
absolutely.
bottom line is you guys are healthy and you are whole. And y'all gonna do this thing just like it's meant to be, to death do y'all part. And
Right.
so that gave me the push and the to go ahead and complete the book. So it is live on Amazon. And I use the acronyms in the book for change.
Okay.
CHANGE. And the first one starts with commitment. Then it
Mm-hmm.
goes to healing.
Mm.
Then it goes to what is the A? I don't forgot. Well, you got a better book. You got a better book to find out. But I mean, really, God gave me this. As I was
Good.
writing, the Holy Spirit was just talking to me. And I'm telling you, some of it I changed. I had to go back and change whole chapters because he was like, no, this is what I want you to write. That part was for you. Now erase it. Now this is for them. And so
Mm.
I just thank God that, he speaks to me and
Absolutely.
I believe that it will be a blessing to any marriage. And even if you're not married, It will be a
Mm.
blessing to you because it's going to show you if you desire to be married. It's going to show you what
Right.
some things you're going to go through and how to navigate and be authentically you. And so it's a
Mm.
blessing. It's a blessing.
Yes, it might be the A might have been agreement or agree.
Oh yeah.
Maybe so.
Oh, hey, let me see what. Now you're gonna make me look it up for real. Uh,
Yes, well, you got to
I
show us. And, and
I
and
do.
the book title, the book title. Tell us the book
Well, see,
title.
this is my uh was not my proof copy, so you
Mhm.
can't see it right, but it's
Okay.
rooted and grounded.
Yes.
A guide to marital wholeness.
Yes.
So
Rooted
this one,
and grounded. A guide to marital wholeness. That
wholeness.
is so
Yes,
beautiful. Yeah,
that is it.
that's what you want. That's what you want.
Exactly. I don't know about you, but that's what I want.
That's what I
That's
want.
Oh, so
For
the
him.
A is acknowledgement. The
Oh,
A is acknowledgement.
acknowledgement. Okay, so the
Acknowledgement.
C, so it's change, right? So C is for
Commitment,
H,
healing,
and then the A is for acknowledgement.
acknowledgement.
N is
Then
for,
the N is necessary.
okay.
The
And
G is grace. And the E is evolution.
oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
y'all. My kids came in this room.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that
Yes.
acronym. It's awesome.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Awesome. Well, do you have any
Yes. So
last
you got to get the book. You got to get the
last thoughts? Well, I know. See, the family, yeah, they calling on you.
I'm
They're like, "All
sorry.
right, mom,
I'm sorry.
all
Woo!
right, and it's okay. It's okay." So, if you
I'm
could
sorry.
just give us, your last thoughts, and then share where the audience can find you. How can they connect with you, and any the services that you provide? Just a little bit of that information, so that they can know where, how to connect with you in your
Okay.
spot.
So for my last thought, I would just say this: give
Mm-hmm.
yourself some grace.
Mm,
If you're in a marriage, if you're in a relationship and things just don't seem like it's working out, give yourself some grace. Give
yeah.
yourself some grace and start writing the vision. What do you see now and what do you want it to look like?
Mm,
Don't be afraid to address the elephant in the room.
yeah.
A lot of people are hanging on by a thread because they refuse to address the elephant in the room. Talk about it. Communicate. Get the help. Don't be afraid.
Mm, that's good.
Don't be
That's
afraid.
good. I love it. I feel empowered.
Absolutely.
Y'all feel empowered. Come on.
Yes.
Leave a comment if you feel empowered, okay?
Yes.
We want to see your thoughts. We thank you so much for your support.
Thank
You know,
you.
the team they've been rocking with us, and I just appreciate you coming on and sharing these beautiful gems. When I had found you, I was like, oh, this is awesome. It's kind of like a marriage retreat, but like you don't got to go nowhere, like you get this access. I love the virtual life sometimes because you
Oh
get
yeah.
access to things that you might not, be able to have access. Just think if we didn't have that. You're located, Tennessee, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so, so they can have access to you from anywhere in the world
Yes.
because you might
Absolutely.
just be the right person. You and
That's it.
your husband may just be the right people to really help, heal some of these marriages, right? So
That's right.
I appreciate the work that you
Amen.
do.
Amen.
And I'll be
Thank
praying
you.
for you and just rooting you on and supporting you. I'll get the book just for me so I can be prepared, honey. For all of
Absolutely.
that.
Yes.
Well, thank you again. And to everyone else, make sure that you share this. I hope it was a blessing to you. Share, like, and make sure that you subscribe again to the Bailey Network and the HBCU Lounge Network. And we will see you next time where we talk about fitness and health and wellness. All right. Good night.